Hello, my friend. There are many ways of being present in the world. But of course, when you are a therapist, your presence becomes very much part of what you do. To be present in a therapeutic way is to use your own presence in the world to facilitate somebody else's presence in the world. It is like being a spiritual midwife. It is about bringing the other person into the world in a new way. And you do that partially by paying full attention to the other and making them feel seen and heard and welcomed into the world for the first time, perhaps in their lives. It is also about bringing them to thought by you bringing your thoughtfulness into presence. So everything you do with your own therapeutic presence is in a way a role modeling. It is showing to the other how it is possible to be in the world and with other people. But it is also an invitation. It is also about creating a space and a time that is peaceful and that is open and that is sacred, I would say. It is about enabling the other to rediscover the sacredness of being. And it is very much about allowing the other into the world in such a way, into the room in such a way, that they become attentive to their own presence, that they become aware of who they are and how important it is for them to be in the world and to take up their space. It is about enabling the other to experiencing that space and to become aware that it is theirs to take and that actually they are entitled to being in the world, that they have a right to be heard, that they have a right to breathe, that they have a right to be, that they have a right to be cared for and to be loved. It is about enabling the other to step into the space in a way they had never known was possible. And of course, you cannot do that if you are just aloof and you are disengaged. It requires you to be engaged with yourself in that way and to be in the world yourself in that way and to have been through that struggle to achieve that way of being present in the world. And it is also about being present in your life in relation to something much greater than yourself, whatever you name that, whatever you call that. It is about having the humility to know that infinity, eternity, and all that is, the omnipresence of life, of being, is so much greater than you or I. And it is about introducing the other person to rediscovering that they can have faith in life, that they can build trust, not just in themselves, not just in their relationships with other people, not just in relationship to their own body, but also in relation to life itself. And if you can enable the other to meet life and look life in the eye and to know that maybe life is something quite amazing and quite special and quite extraordinary, rather than this sequence of hardship and difficulty and chaos or duty and chores. That life is an opening in the universe, a portal towards something much more than what you and I can be. When you allow a person to rediscover the capacity for being in awe of that, in wonder of that, and to rediscover their own curiosity about how they can make that happen for themselves and how they can learn to love themselves again in that process. Well, that is an amazing thing to be doing. It is an amazing thing to lend your presence to the other's process of representing themselves in the world. But that is what existential therapy does. It is about calling the other back to themselves, back to their life, back to possibility, back to the future, back to the most miraculous things that they had forgotten about, and that will change their lives and give them back the spark that they had lost. And when you see that spark lighting up in the other, and you know that in some ways it was your inner spark that was the little bit of light, the little bit of fire they needed to refine their passion for living, then it feels like you have done enough, and they will do the rest. It is about giving the person back to themselves and making them aware that they have this whole life available to them to do with what they wish and to make it into a work of art. And that is what your presence, attuned to the other's presence, can do. But you have to be prepared to work very hard on your own presence in the world before you have that magic touch. And before you can evoke that sort of thing in the other. And that, my friend, can take a lifetime. So if you do want to be an existential therapist, be prepared to live a bit first, and be prepared to be called out of all of your funny ways of deceiving yourselves and of having to come to terms with a lot of that before you're able to do that for other people. It's not an easy option, but it is a wonderful, beautiful thing to be able to do with your life. Take care, my friend.